Hiya, hiya, it's Joey Reynolds Rap. And as you probably notice, everything is shrinking. Well, that's what Les Paul used to say to me. He used to say, you have to allow for shrinkage at this age. Yeah, I think he means for everything else except for prices. They're not shrinking. Everybody's got to win the $1 billion Powerball in order to afford to have peanut butter and jelly. Peanut butter is $11. I saw it in New York City. And it's shrinking. I mean, this is peanut butter, right? This is a burrito from McDonald's. Burritos used to be humongous. They were the size of those things that you piñatas. Yeah. This is what we get now. What happened to the 15-cent hamburger? I know what happened. Everybody else wanted to make money. Well, I'm not going to sit here and eat all during this broadcast. Not a bad idea. I think the news stations ought to have a meal. Have the guys all sit around the same table. CNN and Fox and NBC and CBS and ABC and all the contingencies, and have a meal. Maybe light up a joint, fire one up, drink some wine, chill. Even this president, he ought to go to a childbirth class and learn how to push. It's amazing. Look at all the people fighting on the airplanes now, I gave my report yesterday. I don't know if you got the Reynolds Rap on my trip where they moved the paraplegic into my seat in the front row. With nothing wrong with paraplegics. We're just talking about how people are treating each other. That's the topic here today. If there is never a topic with me. I'm like my mother. She says that, well, my mother was very much like these current day financial prisoners. They never finish a sentence. And that's me. Anyway, I was thinking about the airlines and how they're all fighting, and the air controllers should be the cops that are on the flight, not the guys up in the tower anymore. And when they have air wars, I thought it was about NBC and CBS. I didn't think it was in the airplanes. Now, lately there's an attitude. It should be the altitude, attitude. And what happens is people get in the airplane, they're in a confined space, they don't want to wear a mask, they want to be served, and there's no meal, of course, but you can have a little cheese and also a sip of tea and take your mask off. I usually go in the bathroom and eat. Then you can have the mask off in there, but that's even a worse experience. I don't recommend this. The way to fly is to just get in your car. You notice how many cars there are? How crowded the roads are? All of a sudden people are coming in now from the end of summer vacation, beginning of school, and nobody wants to take public transportation. They're afraid to get on the railroad even, although I'm not. I have my vaccination. I just got the flu shot the other day too. Thank you, Dr. Siegel. And I also have, what do I have? I have the shingles? No, I have siding. I don't have shingles. And I got a shot for, I got my Pfizer, so I get the booster coming up. I know you don't want to hear my medical record, but, let me go through my aneurysm. We'll go through that. It's just waiting to pop and then strike my heart. It's an instant death if you don't take care of that right away, I'm told. I don't know. I've had the CAT scan, the dog scan. I've had everything scanned in my life. They ran my head across the checkout counter at the supermarket yesterday. Everything about me is scanned. The surveillance cameras are following me all over in everybody's house because they know that I steal the towels and the soap when I stay with them. Now, the amazing Kreskin, he worked in every single major hotel. They don't allow him in the casinos because he knows how to read cards and he wins. Now, I just had him last weekend in Little Italy in New York, mesmerizing a crowd with card tricks. He knows how to do that. I shouldn't use the word tricks because that shows some sort of a weakness. But he was doing card tricks. And they were great, and everybody got quiet. Thousands of people in Little Italy, and all the amusements and the amazing music that's coming out of these stands, the concessions, the cannoli music, and that, all of a sudden you got Kreskin who's standing there doing a card trick like this because he's talking very softly. And it seems the softer you talk, the closer people want to hear. You know, they used to have a commercial like that about investments, you know. I think somewhere along the line, you need to be a little bit less aggressive and more soft-spoken, because I learned that the other day from Kreskin. So I tried that, and everybody threw their meatballs at me. They couldn't hear me. But he was great with it. And Kreskin, who he's not a mind reader, but he's a mentalist, whatever that means. He can read 2 or 3 books at the same time. You know, he'll put it down, read another one, read another one, he's amazing, Kreskin. He is. His life story was done by Tom Hanks, and the movie was about him. I think somewhere we need to honor him, but he's kind of faded since Johnny Carson's gone and he was doing all those shows. And in the last year and a half, he hasn't worked in the clubs. He's not allowed to gamble in the casinos, is what I started to tell you, because he knows how to win. Isn't that an interesting concept? Yeah, I don't want to play here. I win all the time. Why would I do that? I love Steve Wynn. He's got the right name, just the wrong casino. Steve Lose. But I have fun. I have fun with everybody like this. And I worked for Wayne Newton, as you know. I ran his company for so long. It was a tremendous job that I had. I sat there with Wayne Newton, and I met everybody in the world. And I worked with every major star, you know, just about. Too bad about Tony Bennett. You know, he was always at Caesar's Palace, but Tony's got Alzheimer's, and he was singing "I Left My Heart in Fresno," which is not a rhythmic song even. You know, I mean, even if he left his heart in San Diego, it would be close, you know. But unfortunately, we are living with people who are going through a lot of illnesses that are unaccounted for. We're living longer, enjoying it less, paying more, not knowing where the money's coming from or where it's going, when this is going to end. We have no idea. See, nobody knows anything anymore. That's the beauty of life right now. The rich people die, and the older people are living longer. Black people are having their way in show business, at least. You know, when I say their way, I mean as a culture. I don't want to start being called anything. You remember Imus was on the air, and he made a comment about a girl playing, I think it was basketball at Rutgers, and he got in all kinds of trouble with that. But he worked for ABC, and ABC was a very pure, pristine company. They don't honor any of that because it's all wholesome family stuff, you know. But Imus was the morning guy on ABC in New York for a number of years too, and I think he got in trouble with the race thing, and so did talk show host Bob Grant. Kramer went out, the real Kramer, not the real Kramer, the Michael Richard. He went out in blackface. You know, everybody's very sensitive. They take statues down because they don't want to be reminded of a terrible time. Then we ought to really remove all of the buildings in Auschwitz too, if you're going to do that. But we need to have these benchmarks. You need to know how bad it was and how terrible people treated each other. You need to remind it of that, not every day, because we got enough of that on the news. See, the news ought to do like I said. I'll sit around on the table and have a meal, and sit down and talk about things honestly, and not be finding fault with each other. That's so. You know, if I ever had a government-appointed job, I'd want to be the head of the fault-finding committee, because boy, could I find fault. I could find fault like I find lint on my socks. It's just there. You know, you know when someone's wrong, and all we are about in podcasting is crime. It's solving crimes. What we're talking about on television all day is the economy and how we're going to get this $1 trillion and build the infrastructure of America. Not that anybody ever understands it, but you know, we know that they're going to spend money on doing things that we think need repair. I'm still working on a pothole and a bad parking ticket. I don't know about you. I mean, I'm not that sophisticated to worry about a bridge that I'm driving over. Although I think Mario Cuomo Bridge was named by his son Andrew Cuomo, and then I think what happened was he got too big for his bridges, so to speak. So this is it. I want to acknowledge at this point in time the award shows where everybody gets up there, takes their award, and then bitches about what they want to see happen in society. We use it as a civic platform. What we really ought to use as a civic platform is the Congress and the Senate, and not put it on television. How about that? Those guys will never run for office then, and we'll have a new crop. Guys in office for 30 years as a senator and a congressman, supposed to be a volunteer army. Supposed to go in there and do your job and then go home to your regular job, like Thomas Jefferson did, as a slave driver. Oh, but he married one of them. Can you imagine? Did you know that? I mean, listen, everybody's got some dirt, you know. This is not a clean country. So if you want to find dirt, just turn the television on. You'll see it all day, all day. And then my parting shot is, why do we have telephone talk shows when no one uses the phone? We all text. It's a Reynolds wrap.